Fear is in thoughts. Hear something good and you feel confident. Hear something threatening, fear wells up. Fear is just a thought. Fear is an emotion brought about by fear-stimulated imagination. We feel fear when our imagination, triggered by our memory, takes over our attention. Fear is just a thought. Danger is something different. It is fear that debilitates. Our fear is our thoughts projecting danger, uses an extraordinary amount of energy. If that energy is freed up, used in the present moment, it powers us to our full potential. Prove it for yourself. Put it to the test. Free of consuming fear, truly creative and productive people put all their energy to work. Their attention is alert, aware, and receptive. It is in an intuitive, creative space, focused on the result. They are not struggling through a stagnant bog of fearful thoughts about what could go wrong. Where they put their attention is what separates people who succeed from the rest. They direct their attention positively and long enough to tap into the natural creative energy source that is in all of us. Those who are less successful don't seem to be able to drop their fear thoughts. Thought is an abstraction. That is, it is just a form you have imagined, not an actual reality. Fear is imagined danger. Real danger exists where it exists, but fear exists in our thoughts, always with us inside our head, constantly distracting, frightening, and debilitating us in the absence of any real danger. When doing something, if you are paying full attention, you are at one with what you are doing. Your attention is being completely and productively focused. But if you are out of the moment, your attention is wandering, most likely in memory, or projecting into the future. But whichever it is most likely occupied with thoughts of worry. All your fearful thoughts have their origin in fear creating previous impressions, which have now become mind forms in your memory. Now you've frightened yourself by bringing them to life again, living them in your imagination as though they were real and present. Fear is contained in thoughts. The danger and the thought are not the same thing. You can suffer from fear of anything you can imagine, while there may be no actual danger. Fears can torment you by just thinking about them, even while being safe and sound in bed. Maybe you have just listened to the news. The crime rate is up, war is possible, the economy is collapsing, a killer pandemic is spreading. You feel threatened, even if it is not at your door, but only in your imagination. In these moments, nothing is threatening you except your own thought. The neighbours, who are tuned into a media outlet aimed at a different mind space, are terrified too, but of something quite different. Maybe the total opposite to you. One fears the ever-present and publicised out-of-control, fast-spreading killer pandemic, threatening them and their families. The other fears the abuse of the authorities promoting a pandemic hoax to manipulate people for their own political power agenda. Yet the situation in the street is quiet. Both families are home, fed, and safely in bed. There are no villains peering through the window, no war machines going down the road, no sick and dead piling up outside. But the fear of them rages on in one's head. The news is such a big part of our lives. The business model of the news is to spread fear. It is seldom that it materializes into the promised all-consuming disaster. But that doesn't matter, because tomorrow they have sourced a whole new stock of fear for your attention. Again, a new danger is almost upon us. We must stay tuned in. Our safety depends on being informed. And they are reporting it as though it is a sacrifice and an unbiased public service, an emergency broadcast, to keep you safe, and to offer you medical and theft and any other kind of emergency insurance to balance the fear, and some kind of light fear, fashion or beauty or health, and such like, in between to distract you until the next big news at 7. It is a fear-generating machine. News is fear porn, not a reflection of your world. And like any porn, it is not really contributing to your state of being in any positive way. What about all the other random fears you have rising up menacingly in your mind? Put our attention into them and our energy is consumed supporting and building them. The more our energy is drained by the fear, the weaker we become, the more fearful we become. Fear feeds on fear. Yes, but you say, do you ever feel more confident after hearing the news? Or those people who are always telling you, in your own best interest of course, that you are going to fail or run into trouble or something for sure is going to go wrong if you carry on with your plan. If you ignore them and still succeed, they tell you resentfully that you were just lucky and again reiterate all the things that could have gone wrong and how selfish you were. Break the cycle, quit the news, avoid fear-purveying people. Danger exists in the very act of living. It is a fact. But people, not preoccupied with fear, seem to dodge it. How reassuring and what a comfort it is to be in the company of an encouraging and reassuring and confident person. It gives you the courage to go on. My greatest moments in life were lived in the space fear thoughts would have stopped them in their tracks. I've faced huge storms at sea, been trapped in snow-covered high-altitude mountains, in facing the danger attendant in defying the authority by just living my life my way. Things could have gone wrong, and often came within a hair's breadth of it. But in those situations, there was no time to think, only to act with full attention. Those times were among the most defining moments of my life. Great leaps forward. Life and its possibilities are now seen in a new light. Thought has its place. It is vital. It is a tool for living. But its purpose is not to terrify you, robbing you of your life through meaningless surrender. Well insured and pensioned off, safe at the end of a life working in a seemingly secure basic job, might make one think like one has been sensible and lived the textbook perfect life. But in the end, it has just been marking time between birth and death, with no life or growth in between, and still full of fear. Your epitaph, your life's lesson, would be illustrated by that plain stroke between the date of your birth and the date of your death on your gravestone. Life should be lived. Experience can expand and deepen one. In the end, you leave it all behind except for the conscious space you have developed inside of yourself. Recognize what fear is. Be sensible, but don't let imagined fear dominate your life. Live with a conscious awareness of what you are deep inside. What is that being inside you, which you are, which is what you were when you arrived in this world at birth, experienced all you have gone through, and will still be what you are when the body gives out. With pure attention, free of thoughts, experience what it is that is inside you, powering your existence. It is the essence of what you are.